Welcome to episode 4 on will. In this will, in this episode, we are going to see what is execution of will, what is attestation of the will, how to execute a privileged will, and how to execute an unprivileged will. Let's see what is execution of will. This is a technical term for signing the will and making it legally binding. So, the process by which the testator's will is made legally valid is known as execution of the will. If you must, that there are three or four conditions in this. First is you must sign the will document while you have capacity to know what you are doing. Second, you have gone through the document and understood the meaning and contents of the will. Third, you approve of all the contents and then put your signature on the document at the end of the document, signifying that you have gone through and understood the document well. And fourth and last, minimum 2 persons sign and attest as attesting witness your signature in the will. This whole process is called the execution of the will. Now let's see what is attestation. Attestation, there are two things. First, each witness must have seen the testator sign or affix his mark, or seen some other person sign it or puts his thumb impression in the testator's presence and under his direction, or each witness has received from testator a personal acknowledgement of his signature or mark, or the signature of such person he has authorized to sign in the will document. And number 2, each witnesses must sign the will in presence of testator, although they did not sign in presence of each other. This is very important. Attestation is very important aspect and concept in making a will valid. It means the testator must have signed or affixed his mark, even thumb impression will do, or some mark in presence of 2 attesting witnesses. Or if he wants to delegate that authority to someone else, that person should sign and put his mark under the direction and in presence of testator, in presence of 2 witnesses. If this is not possible, then each witnesses should have received from testator a personal acknowledgement that this is my signature, or this is the signature of the person I have delegated or authorized to sign in my place into the will. And then only the attesting witnesses have put their signature. Each witness must sign the will in presence of testator, although they need not sign in presence of each other. This is a very important concept. Take a case when a person has made a will document, he has signed himself, then sends it to his friends at some other place residing and say, I have already signed, you just sign the document and return back to me. This will is not attested properly. So also, if the testator sends to his friends the prepared will without signing, says you first sign and send it back to me and then I will sign, then also it is not a properly attested document and it is not legally valid attested will. So friends, mere signing on a will another person does not always amount to attestation. Attestation means signing the document for the purpose of testifying to the signature of the person executing the document. In this case, the testator is the person who is executing the document. So the attesting witnesses certify that the signature put there at the end of the will is that of a testator. It is not necessary that attesting witnesses should know the contents of the will. They are only certifying the testator's signature therein in their presence, and or saying that this mark is of testator. It is quite usual to have a doctor as one of the attesting witnesses. However, there is no rule of law which states that the doctor's presence as an attesting witness is a must. Attesting witnesses cannot delegate their function to some other person. That means they must sign the document in presence of testator. For proving the execution of document in the court, any one of the two attesting witnesses may be called, and that is valid. This is called attestation of the will. Now let's see the execution of privilege will. As we have already seen in last episode, the privilege wills are wills made by the persons who are actually on war front or in marine. Hence, they have get some concessions. Now, what are those concessions? Let's see in brief. A. Will written by testator in his own handwriting wholly need not be signed by him or attested by witnesses. Even then it is valid. Will may be written wholly or in part by another person and signed by the testator. Then also attestation is not necessary. Will written by somebody else, wholly or part, under testator's directions and not signed by testator is valid if he recognizes that it is his will. Fourth, if a soldier, airman or mariner had given written instructions to prepare his will but died before it could be prepared, such instructions are considered as valid will made by him. Even verbal instructions for preparing a will can be called as valid will if it was given in presence of two witnesses. Such instructions are put in writing in his lifetime and he dies before formal will could be prepared. Even then, this will is considered as a valid will. Lastly, oral declaration of his intentions before two witnesses present at the same time is valid will. However, such will becomes null and void at the expiry of 1 month after that person, being still alive, has ceased to be entitled to make a privilege will. It means earlier an oral instruction was given by someone to his friends to prepare a will because he was on warfare, he could make privilege will. Then the war got over, he came back to the base, he no more enjoys a privilege to make a privilege will. 1 month has passed, then the validity ceases. Thereafter 1 month he has to make a regular unprivileged will. Execution of unprivileged will. Now all wills prepared by persons other than soldiers, airmen and mariners are called as unprivileged will, we have seen. Now there are 3 conditions which must be satisfied. First, signature. Either the testator signs or affix his mark or someone else signs in testator's presence and under his direction, then it is valid. Second, intention behind signature. Such mark or signature is so placed so that it appears that it is intended to give a effect to the writing as a will. It means, suppose the testator does not put his signature at the end of the will and signs somewhere in between, then it cannot be called as a valid will. Third, attestation. will must be attested by at least 2 attesting witnesses. Once these 3 conditions are satisfied, then the will is validly executed. We have already seen what is attestation and what is execution. So now it should be very clear to you what is meant by that. I shall speak on briefly on 1 or 2 more concepts. Section 67 says, will given to attesting witness or his or her spouse is void, is not valid, but that doesn't make the will itself invalid. So the attesting witness cannot become a beneficiary or legatee in a will. An executor who is appointed by the testator is not disqualified from being a witness. That means he can still be a witness, but then he cannot take a legacy which is bequeathed to him by way of will. So attesting witness, the executor should not become a attesting witness or he loses the gift. Section 141 says, if a legacy is bequeathed to an executor of will, he cannot take the legacy unless he proves the will or otherwise manifests an intention to act as an executor. Under Indian Succession Act, executor can be a legatee. It doesn't bar executor from being a legatee, and a bequest made to him or her is quite valid, subject to his acceptance of the office of the executor. That means, for example, suppose a testator has written in the will that my last rite should be performed in a particular way, and post his death, the executor takes adequate steps to fulfill that condition, then it is said that he has shown the intention or to be an executor of the will, and he has proved the will, so he can take the legacy which is bequeathed to him. We stop here. Thank you very much. Next episode we shall see revocation of the will. Thanks.